Okay guys, I've moved over to another section. This is just a plastic container that I'm going to put the cleaning paint stripper in. Alright, let's talk shop for a second. So this is what I use, guys. Methylated spirits, and I use the purple one. Now you're going to say, Steve, why are you using the purple one? I use the purple one because it gets the paint off. The white and the green one doesn't work as well for me. Now, a few things to note about this. This works perfectly on any plastics and it doesn't dissolve plastic. I've had plastic models lying in this for weeks. It doesn't dissolve. It doesn't react with metal. This stuff works very well. However, it works well if you put some elbow grease into it. What I mean by that is you need to take a toothbrush and actually start lifting the paint up. This stuff works so quickly, you can strip a model back in 20 minutes. Completely bare. The only thing that I would be worried about this is using it with resin. So this stuff, if you have resin and it's exposed to this methylated spirits for too long, that resin actually changes its compound and becomes rubber. It's not solid anymore. So engine mountings, be very careful with that sort of stuff. Everything else, we're gonna put it to the test now, and I'll show you how quickly I strip it without using a machine, without using an ultrasonic. You gotta wear gloves with this because this stuff actually sucks the moisture out of your hands. Your hands will start drying up and it's really bad for your skin. You might want to put a respirator on. I don't particularly use a respirator, but I've got an open garage door and I've got a few vents set up that runs. If you're gonna use this stuff and you're leaving the models in there, you need to close the lid completely, because what happens with this, that the spirits aspect of it actually evaporates and disappears, and all you're left with is a water-based solution that's not going to strip the paint. All right, so enough of that. Let's get it in there. You try and get it fully submerged and you can immediately start scuffing and roughing it up. Better results, a bit more effort. All right, so that's the underbody, the frame, that's the fuel tank. I'm going to leave the side frames for last, purely because I want to keep them together so that I can work out what's left and what's right on there. Okay, all right. Can you guys see that? We're not even a minute into the video and already I got brass. All right. This strips acrylic and enamel paints alike, guys. So I'm going to lift this up a little bit, just so I got more methylated spirits in the bottom. I don't know if you can see it. Oh no, I might not be able to do that. All right, hold on. Oh, bugger. I took a container with a hole in it now, didn't I? Oh, bugger. Okay. So, it's all right. I've got another container here. Very important. Make sure you don't have any holes in your containers. I'm an idiot. All right, moving on. I'm not going to edit that out because I'm only human and we all make mistakes. All right. Now, if you were doing this in the house, that little boo-boo right there, that would have been a big problem. The missus might have been really unhappy with that. So that's why I do this sort of thing in the garage. Just want to show you up close and personal. Have a look at how quick that is. You see that? Guys, and if you think this works quick on metal, it works even faster on plastic. Right. Now, I do have a fine brush like this for in between the handrails, because that's where things become a little bit tricky, is getting all the residue off the handrails. All right. And that's really thick on there, guys. That's painted really thick. All right. So once you've scuffed it, you leave it in there a little bit and give it time to react. Alright. So, alright, you can see the paint's already flaking up everywhere. I don't know if you can see it, but the paint's going really nasty. And that's what we want. We want the paint to go bye-bye. Have a look at that. There's something brass underneath there. Alright. Guys, it doesn't matter how well the person that painted this sealed it. If you use methylated spirits, it's going to eat through the sealer, it's going to eat through the paint, and you'll strip it all off. Decals, everything alike. If you got models that's been glued with crazy glue, this does not react with the crazy glue, so it's not going to break your super glues and your high contact glues apart. I don't know if you got resin epoxy bonds, how that reacts with that. Alright. Sorry if I'm wandering off camera a little bit. So this is the sort of thing where you scuff the paint, resubmerge it. Scuff the paint, resubmerge it. Because the spirits actually need to go in underneath the paint. And that's where you get your best results from. Alright. I don't know if you can see that too well, but that one's coming up pretty nice already. Back in she goes, and that's all you do, guys. You just keep sanding away, scraping away the paint, irritating it, scuffing it up, and back in the box. Back in the box, guys, back in the box. Look at that. There won't be a lick of primer or paint on this when we're done with it. Alright. We could leave this model as a brass model, but I want to have a demonstrator, guys. These are my favorites. I love these locomotives, and I really want that white and black and red demonstrator. I know Bowser's got them, and they are probably more detailed than these. But guys, this thing came out in 1968. I think she deserves a little bit better than what she's currently sitting at. All right. Now, as far as traction and all that goes, at the moment this thing is super heavy. I don't know how the motor will go with DCC. It should be alright, but there's a lot of problems that we'll talk in another video about what the issues are going to be and why I'm actually considering changing motors. I don't think the issue is the motor. The problem is the size of the motor, but we'll talk about that on the next video. Alright. This frame's looking pretty good. The frame's almost ready to be rinsed in a bit of water. So one thing that I need to mention, once you're done, have a bit of a bowl with water, just a little tub with water, just so you can rinse it off, because this stuff keeps reacting until you get rid of it. And then a bit of soapy water, just to get rid of any of the final any leftover impurities, because if you're going to spray it, you don't want that stuff on there. So we'll pop that one in there for one last time. Obviously, whoever painted this did a much thicker section down here, so that's going to be a little bit more elbow grease from our side, but little bits at a time. Oh. Right. I don't know if you guys can see this too well. Coming up, roses. Look at that. No ultrasonic cleaner, no fancy tools, an old toothbrush, $6 bottle of methylated spirits, and you're laughing, guys, you're laughing. Now, anyone that says that doesn't work, I'm showing it to you here live on camera. I could probably do this all on camera, but I think you get the gist of it. So I'm going to finish it, and I'll show you the finished model afterwards. I'm not going to give you a time frame because it's as fast as you want it to go, but you could probably realistically do this in 20 minutes time. Okay guys, so I've been scrubbing away a little bit. Not done yet, but I'll just show you what I got going on here. So that's pretty much where I'm at the moment. Still a bit more to do. That handrail was broken, but unfortunately I've undone the little stanchion there. But these sort of things happen, it's to be expected. But that's where we're sitting. I just want to show you, so these trucks have been painted with flow quill. I don't know if you guys are aware how sticky flow quill is. It's an enamel based, and it literally, this stuff just corrodes it, it just eats through it. I'll show you. So this, they've actually sprayed this with a insulated rubber type thing, silicone type paint, which is really good. The guy that did this did a real good job. But I'll just show you. So this is a rubberizing compound or whatever it's called, sealant or whatever. And this stuff just makes mincemeat of it. There's nothing left of it. We scuff up the surface. Once you've scuffed up the surface, you put it back in there for a little bit. Take it back out. And that's how you go. You just keep going little bits at a time. If you see nothing is coming off, that's probably a good indication to put it back in the solvent. And like I say, have a few brushes on standby so you can get into the fine nooks and crannies. The big issue is the stanchions and the handrails. That's going to be something that's going to take a little bit more finessing. Oopsie. Try and get that there for you so you can have a look at it. And that's how quick this stuff deals with any paint. Now, I don't know if this will work with patina. I don't think so. There's another process that I use for patina, and that's a vinegar process. I might show you that later on. Not on this locomotive. This locomotive doesn't have patina because I think they painted it really early on. So it's been protected from corrosion, because that's pretty much all patina is. It's just a form of corrosion. But we won't be doing that, and we won't be polishing this. I'll be cleaning it, and then it's going to get painted, so it's no point polishing it. It's a pity I wasted the first half of my bot early on the video, but a bit of a silly goose there. All right. So I'm going to clean the gears and everything with this, because everything's getting re-greased, cleaned, re-gauged, and then we'll start looking at what we're actually going to do with this locomotive. Which I'm super excited, and I'm sure you guys are super excited as well, because there's nothing about brass locos out on the tube. I'll show you guys in another video how I polish and, like I say, remove patina. But that'll be a future video. That won't be now. All right. Look at that. That's flow quill, guys. That's an enamel based, and it's been painted on with a brush, and it's thick because the guy that did this was trying to insulate and make sure there's no shorts, and that's how quick this deals with that. See you later. See you later. Swap out your gloves from time to time, because I find that I do tend to tear my gloves a little bit, and your hands are sweating in the gloves and you don't realize it, but there's actually fluid going in from this, and you don't realize until only later that your hands are super dry, and it's actually really bad for your skin, guys. All right, maybe you want to wear some eye protection. I think that's probably also wise. I should probably mention that as well. Get yourself some good glasses, just in case you get a droplet in your eye. This stuff displaces water like no one's business. All right, guys, I'm going to finish this little one up, and then I'll show you a final shot when I'm done. All right. Okay, guys, so this is the finished product. Rule of thumb, if you think that the model is done, it's probably not done yet. You're probably done. So what I suggest is put it down and then carry on tomorrow or the day after. That way you'll get rid of all these. There's still a few blemishes left. I'll show you here and there. Yeah, so bit of a disclaimer. I had to separate the shell from the foot plate, the walkways, just so I could get in and get it nice and clean on on the foot plates. So you'll see there's a bit of a funny haze to it. That's because the methylated spirits has actually removed all the previous years of polish. I'm sort of happy with this. I just want to make sure that there's no thick paint blobs sitting anywhere, because that's just going to create problems for us later on. This has been washed, so I'll leave them to dry, and then we'll come back to it on another day and start working on what we're actually going to do with this bugger. Something else that I want to show you, someone asked me, how do I know whether a locomotive is brass or if it's actually tin plated? The answer to that is simple with a magnet. A brass is super conductive. It conducts electricity so well, but it's not magnetized. It doesn't have any magnetic properties. If it was tin plated, the magnet will just latch onto it and it will stay there. Alright guys, I think that's enough for this video. I'll keep you guys posted on what happens from here forward. Hope you enjoy it and have fun. If you do the same project, please post something. Let me know how your projects go. If you have any advice on this, guys, please, it'll be much appreciated. Thank you.